something. I mean, I've got a big spider web that's orange and lights and spider. Nobody really, it's kind of a lame street for Halloween.
This is my first year. We didn't have one kid.
Seriously.
Yeah, not one kid down in the flats this year. Not one.
Wow.
I think a lot of people kind of just like reached out to ask what streets were doing things, and everyone was looking for safe, socially distant kind of candy and treat giving outs. People had shoots and all kinds of different things set up. So if you kind of didn't put out there that you were doing anything, it's not really surprising that, you know, you didn't get anyone.
Right.
But I've got candy. Anybody want candy? I'm happy to deliver.
Well, you
I have
mentioned,
glow sticks.
I'll take a couple, both. A
Okay,
couple glows and a couple candy sticks.
I'm gonna make a package for you in my front hall. The next time you drive by, call me.
Okay, I will.
We'll take some glow sticks I'll give them to my staff for the drive-in.
Okay, that'd be good.
Yeah, and they can have.
All right,
them. They
Nora,
can
I'm
get
just
out.
gonna drop some candy off to your house then. And you can dish it out.
I got a lot of candy. This place, I feel like there's candy everywhere. I'm surrounded by it.
I'll be down tomorrow, Jason.
Surrounded, there's candy everywhere around here.
But we had kids starting at 3 o'clock, just like really little kids, just walking up and down the street. So
That's what I
Cool.
like. I like the little ones. They're like
Halloween's-
just, they're cute.
Hello, Randy.
Hi,
Hi, Randy.
Hello,
Got my house.
Randy.
look how cute this is.
Hi,
This is for
everybody.
my son's bar mitzvah. This is, you know who this guy is?
oh, Mr. Monopoly.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So that was his favorite game, was Monopoly. So we still kept this.
That's
I
Oh,
think
that's
he's called
awesome.
Mr. Moneybags.
money bags, right?
Monopoly.
Anyway.
baby.
We had very few Halloween.
I was always the thimble when I
Um,
played Monopoly.
But going back
What
to
do you mean you
Halloween,
were
it's
the
my favorite
symbol?
holiday.
Halloween's great.
And I live in one of those streets that you mentioned, Melbourne.
Mhm.
Yeah, I heard Melbourne did a great job. Neither of my kids went out this year.
Yeah, they set up the tables.
Mhm.
My son put a bowl out.
Hi, Tina.
Hello.
So there's some people here, I don't know, who's Alex?
Oh, we're having a presentation tonight. So
Oh,
they're gonna,
cool.
yeah, 7:30. Oh, it
Okay,
is
great.
7. Hold on, let me put it on YouTube. Let me get the,
Hi, Sin.
Hi.
let's see.
I said,
Hi.
It's so funny about Zoom because so many people's color. I mean, Carrie, your color is really good. Your light.
Oh, yeah?
You have any special lighting?
Randy,
Nope,
we're good to
just
go.
Hot lights.
Okay. All right. So if we're recording now, I think we have definitely a good sized turnout. There's, I see Manny, or I don't see Manny, but I see enough people here that there's Kathleen. We're all,
I'm still working.
listen,
there's Ms. Better. She's all good. So welcome everybody. Hopefully everyone had a interesting month since we've last met, and that everyone is their ones are safe and healthy. That's really a blessing. So let's get started, and I believe we certainly have a quorum. So if you want to get started, very briefly, and then we'll get our presenters at the floor, if that's okay. So has anyone had a chance to read the minutes?
Yes. And I actually emailed and I sent to Charles, and then I just emailed everybody as well. I made some corrections to the dog park update paragraph because some things were not quite right. I sent them out to you guys. So I didn't have an issue with any of the other parts of the minutes, just the dog park paragraph.
So would you like us to review them and maybe Jason, can we table that for next week so everyone had a chance to look at the next month?
The minutes?
Get them approved tonight. Yes,
Yeah, yeah, I'm fine with that.
Well, we can't just read the
Okay.
little change that she has, or
We
no?
do that too.
Oh,
I mean,
well,
we tried
is it
to,
in your email, Cindy?
I didn't receive it. Hold on, let me check.
Everyone should have gotten it by now. I sent it maybe 15, 20 minutes ago.
I got it.
Okay, now I have it.
Yep, I'm good.
If everyone's okay with that?
I just wouldn't say the current recreation fund of $440,000 is available because I don't think the whole fund is available for it.
Right. And that's not the cost of the dog park, because I'm
No.
sorry that I missed it.
No.
Right,
I would just say a
Right.
portion maybe.
right. I mean, that's their budget.
So then just
Nora?
amend it to say a
Nora?
portion of the current recreation fund amount is available. Right?
I think so.
I think so too.
And I do
All right.
apologize for not being there. Can I just ask a question, Nora, really quickly about the parking?
Sure.
Are we going to build parking there, or is you're gonna walk from, say, where Barry's building is?
Well, I don't actually, I mean, this is one conversation, but I don't know that it's going to be at the Rushmore site. I don't think that's what,
Right.
I think there's a different site that's proposed.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, Carla,
Does
we looked at one other site since this meeting.
Yeah.
And the dog park subcommittee is meeting again, next week, right?
yeah,
Um,
next Thursday.
And we're going to kind of go over the vetting that was done for the sites.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's the Rushmore may not be the number one spot at the moment anymore, like
Okay.
we kind of were favoring since the last meeting.
No, because it says existing parking, so I would assume you
Right.
have to, it's a distance and no one's gonna go there.
It is, it's a walk, it's a hike to go
Right.
from existing parking to
Right.
the Rushmore side.
Why spend the money? Because no one's gonna do that, because people normally want to park in front of a storefront rather than walk, 5 spaces.
I think
Anyway.
after the next dog subcommittee meeting, we should be coming back to Parks and Rec.
Okay.
What
Okay.
we are kind of proposing.
Okay.
That's the hope anyway.
Understood.
So, somebody
So
proposed,
can I have
some-
a motion to approve? Go ahead.
just on the dog park, somebody had suggested to me that, there's an area behind the salt shed off Fenimore. Had that been discussed and considered before? I know I missed a couple of meetings, so I just wasn't sure if that had been
No,
Well,
discussed.
I think it was by Jerry and Jason, and it was to, the topography didn't lend itself to it. Is that the right site, Jason?
Is this the one on Rockland? I mean,
Off of Fenimore,
uh,
by the off ramp from, 18A
That is.
off. the,
no, I don't
freeway.
think we looked at that. I'm not familiar with that location.
Where Majestic is.
No, we didn't look at it.
And I don't think there's,
We're having sound.
Land wasn't good.
Got it in the other room.
Dan,
So can I have a motion to approve the minutes as amended?
sure.
Can I have a motion to amend to approve the minutes as amended?
Motion to
Yes, I'll
approve.
make that
Motion.
motion.
So let's Dan make that motion. And then who would like to second it?
I will.
Okay,
Cindy,
so that's Cindy seconded. And all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so the minutes are approved as amended. Now, the group that's here from United Basketball Alliance, would you like to kindly introduce yourselves?
Sure, I'll start. It's Alex Zinger. If you guys don't mind, I'm gonna try to share a screen, so let's see if this works.
You have good lighting, Alex.
Wrong screen. Hold on. What are you guys seeing? Are you seeing a spreadsheet or are you seeing a presentation?
Presentation.
All right, good. So I think, nice to meet everybody. Some of you guys know me and I know you, but for the benefits of those who don't, essentially what we've done is we've gotten together with Coach Jordan, who I know has been coming on and off the Zoom call. I don't know if he's having connection problems. Hopefully he's around and I'll let him introduce himself. But we're all residents of the village. There's 3 of us. And I think what we're trying to do is propose a basketball facility in Harbor Island, a covered basketball facility, which doesn't exist. So I'll start with that, and I'll give you a little bit of our background. I'll start at the end. I'm Alex Zinger. I've been a resident of a village for the last 20 years. I have 3 sons. They all going through the Rhineact school system. One graduated, is in college. The other 2 twins, they're freshmen. Over the last few years, we helped Coach Jordan start the Fair Game Foundation, and I'm going to let him introduce himself. But as a background coach, has been a resident in the village for a long time, and he really, you'll see him around. He works with kids, with basketball. So you'll see him in Columbus Park. You'll see him, helping kids and trying to put teams together. But I'll let him introduce himself. I think he's really the power behind this, and at least what makes me comfortable that this is going to be a tremendous success. Coach, are you around?
He was having an audio problem, Alex.
Yeah, I think I saw him earlier, and I don't know what the issue is. So let me try, and then when he joins, I'll let him speak for himself. But Coach Jordan, has been in basketball for a very long time. He's got 3 kids that are now adults. He's a grandfather. His kids all went to Mamaroneck High School. He went to Mamaroneck High School. Him and his 3 brothers. He has been involved in coaching for the last 35 years. For a while, he was the varsity coach for the girls basketball team from Mamaroneck High School. He is the founder of JAM and the AAU basketball program. So what he does is he has teams every year, and again, if you drive around Columbus Park, on a Saturday or Sunday, you'll see him coaching kids anywhere from 5th, 6th grade all the way to seniors. He's gotten a lot of kids out of the streets, kids that I think otherwise, it's not an issue for my family, but obviously there's other families in the district, in the village, and he's got a lot of these kids out of trouble. He's helped kids get into college. I have a lot of respect for him. He's helped my kids tremendously. So I speak from experience. I throughout my call it 19, my older one is 19. He's the best coach I know. At least for me, that says a lot. He ran, if some of you guys that are basketball fans will know the ABA. He had the New York Jam, which is an ABA team. That's more recent. It's not the old ABA that got bought by the NBA. But that's Coach, and I think he's the power behind this. We'll explain a little bit what we're trying to do. But hey, Coach, I think you just joined. Can you talk a little bit about? I was just giving your background, but I'll let you compliment. I just pretty much read through what you have there, but if you wanna talk a little bit about yourself, it'd be great. Can you hear us, Coach?
I think he's having an audio problem. If you look on the screen, there's no microphone for him.
Yeah.
I was having that problem earlier.
So that's a little bit of coach, you know, when hopefully he'll get his microphone back. And Ann, why don't you give a little bit of your background?
So, good evening, everyone. For those who I know you and those who I don't, I moved to Mamaroneck a little over 2 years ago, and I have 2 boys in the high school. I immersed myself in the community, in the village, and I do serve the Harbor Island Park Conservancy and the Marine Education Advisory Committee. I work with Alex, and he introduced me to Coach to help my sons get integrated into a sports program. And Alex couldn't say any much more than, I couldn't say any much more than Alex has about Coach, if you don't already know him. So I was asked to help participate, to help bring this to fruition of a need that I also agree that is lacking in the community. I'm sorry, briefly about myself. I have served many PTAs, and I have many years of fundraising, and putting an organization or group come together like this is certainly something that I've done in the past.
I have a question. Jason, are you the moderator of this call?
He is.
Yes.
Okay, so could you see if Coach Jordan has something that you can tweak to let his microphone work?
I think he has a microphone now. Coach, can you hear us? It shows microphone and camera.
Okay, because I see his face, I just don't hear his voice. All right, well, I don't
He's
know how
not
to.
muted though. I can tell you that he's not muted.
Okay, good. Oh,
He
I
is
just
now.
Muted now.
came
Oh,
on.
now he's muted. I don't know.
Coach, you have to unmute yourself. The little toggle on the lower left
He's-
side.
He's unmuted now, but I don't hear anything.
Is his computer muted perhaps?
Can you guys hear me?
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
there
now we
go.
can.
Hi, Coach.
Yeah, we can.
So
There
Coach,
we are.
I don't know if you follow us, but can you know, I gave a little bit of a background on you, but I think it would be great if you shared with those that, I think a lot of people know you here, but I think it'd be great for the people that don't, for you to give a little bit of flavor of, you know, of how much you dedicate your life to the kids and to basketball.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, hi, how you doing? My name is Howard Jordan. I've been a resident of Mamaroneck for 50+ years. I attended Mamaroneck Avenue School. I opened up my grade at the Hahn Middle School. Graduated from Mamaroneck High School. I attended Concordia College. I had an opportunity to play football and basketball, run a little track at a Division II school. Played in the Valley, a year in the NBA program, and I started high school coaching career in 1988 at high school. We won state championships there in '89. I coached at Barham Hills. I had an opportunity to contact with boys and varsity girls at Mamaroneck High School. I was a part of the LMBA program where I started the basketball clinics there, where on a Saturday, where between 800-900 kids from first grade on through third grade. Currently, I officiate basketball for the LMBA. I played in softball at Mamaroneck basketball leagues. At one point, when Al Croce was the superintendent of recreation, he became L. I stepped in as intern superintendent for the Village of Mamaroneck Recreation Department. So I've been around. I've been doing this for a very long time. I started the JAM program when my twins were 8, and they're now 33 years of age. That's how JAM got started. And JAM is, the J is for Jordan, our last name, and my daughter Alicia, our twin brother Michael, and my youngest son Matthew. That's how I got JAM. I was fortunate enough to coach Alex's oldest son, Rafa. I now have his twins, Zephy and Daniel. When I moved to Mamaroneck, I was neighbors with Barry Castorella and Mr. Carlo Recca there. We used to play basketball a lot in high school. So I'm a longtime resident of Mamaroneck, and I'm very proud of that and being a part of the Friendly Village. And hopefully we can bring something to the Harbor Island and the rec department and to make this for our youth.
I'm going to step in. Sounds like he's having trouble with. But you know, let me just tell before I jump into the project. Let me tell you a very quick story, personal story about Coach. And I have a similar story for all three of my kids, but I'll tell you the story about the oldest one. My oldest one, when he was in 9th grade, he didn't make actually it's 8th grade. He didn't make the 7th grade basketball program. He had some physical issues, and he was sure he was going to make 8th grade, and he was very excited about it. And he pretty much spent 6 hours every day during the summer playing basketball, and he completely turned and he became a great player. He went to go try out and he didn't make it. I'm not gonna at school. I don't know why, but you know, that's irrelevant. And the kid was really down. And you know, if it wasn't for Coach stepped in, helped him get excited again about basketball. He got into AAU. He played for Coach for several years. He decided that, you know, academics was his thing. He didn't want to play college basketball, but Coach single-handedly turned the kid from being depressed that he didn't make the team and being totally turned off to being very excited about basketball again. And I got a similar story for all my kids, and I've seen with other kids. So to me, you know, I'll leave it at that, but that's Coach to me, and that's why I'll do anything that Coach ever asks me. So so let me jump into the project. Let me take this and start it. So I think what we're trying to do is trying to bring an enclosed facility, and I think Harbor Island is the place. You know, there's room there. There's unused areas, and I think what I want to walk you through today is a little bit why, you know, we think this makes sense and how we propose to, you know, to get this done. You know, you guys obviously know there's really no indoor places in the village, or, you know, frankly, in the near area for, you know, for kids to play basketball indoors. I'll leave the adults aside for a second, but you know, Columbus Park and Florence Park are it. And you know, people do use it, but you're exposed to the elements, and you know, you're not going to be able to use it 6 months of the year. Plus, whenever you don't have good, you know, good weather, you're not going to play. There's limited basketball options around here. It's very hard to access the high schools. They're very protective of their, you know, of their courts. There's issues with insurance. It's just not an option. You know, we all know what the issues with the fields are, but I think the bottom line is a lot of us love basketball and there's just no place to go. And some of you guys that have kids and that I know, you know what I'm talking about. We have this issue, just, you know, there's nowhere for these kids to go. I think Harbor Island is an interesting place, you know, central location, there is parking, easy access, and there is some land available. You know, the good news is we're not trying to build a big soccer field. We're trying to build a basketball facility, and you know, you don't need as much space. And by the way, if you want to interrupt me at any time, I'm happy to stop, and either I'll answer questions or Coach or Ann. So what we're proposing is to build a covered basketball court, you know, to benefit the community. The way we would do this is through Coach, you know, and we established with Coach, it is his foundation, something called Fair Game Foundation. It's 501c3. And we would raise the money to build this through his foundation. You know, I think it's a pretty appealing thing. There's a lot of people around the village that I think will help. I'm very confident that we can get something like that done. And, you know, what we're proposing is that Fair Game Foundation would be the one building this. Now, obviously, we're not, you know, I don't think we're ready to tell you, this is how we're gonna do it. We need to sit down with the village. If this is something that we can go forward with, we'll sit down with the village and negotiate details. But I think that the village would be a big integral part of, you know, approving the plans and details of it. You know, how we're gonna use personnel, how we're gonna be subcontracting. You know, we're not proposing to just say, hey, just tell us to go and we'll go. I think we're trying to do this as a collaborative thing. And, you know, whatever elements of supervision would be needed for that construction. With that, I mean, we're not asking for money from the village. It would be great if the village would want to give it to us. But I think what we're proposing is we're going to fully fund this through Fair Game. And we would like to have a long-term agreement between the village and Fair Game. Most likely, you know, we're going to have obviously people working, including coaches as JAM, that is going to be contracted to work with the facility, work as a work as a coach. But the way we envision this is it would be a long-term agreement between the village and Fair Game Foundation. So we view this as, you know, probably something along the lines of 20 years. You know, where Fair Game would manage the facilities, be responsible for ongoing costs, be responsible for everything. I don't like to use the tennis courts as an example because I don't think that that's a good partnership. That's not how we're thinking about it. I think, you know, we have the kids of the community in mind. We have the community in mind, and we want to figure out how to work so that it works for everybody. And I think, conceptually, I think what we want to do is, from the village perspective, we want to make sure that in the agreement, we're outlining how the village would have access for, during the summer, for rec programs, for special events. And we want to outline that so that, later there isn't like, well, we thought we could do this, or, we didn't think we could do that. But that's the framework that we're talking about. All of these things would have to be worked, and there's obviously a lot of details, but conceptually, that's how we're thinking about this. I'll pause there. If you guys want to ask anything right now, you can. If not, I'll keep going and we can talk about it later.
What's your website?
Coach, do you have a website for Fair Game? Yeah, I think we have an issue. So, Fair Game, and I'll wait for Coach. I don't think we have a website right now. We would launch a website for this. So Fair Game, we formed helping Coach, be able to raise money for him to run his programs. So, it's just the ability of people to donate and him not have to be subject to taxes as he's using these to fund his programs. So this is a foundation. It's not, where he doesn't have something organized that, this is not an enterprise, so to speak. I don't know if that makes sense to you.
Sure. Well, he has a foundation. He's a 501(c)(3), and he's incorporated in the state of New York.
Yes.
Okay.
Alex, I'm just curious. Did you have a specific spot in mind at the harbor?
I think Ann can talk about this better than I can. She's had a few conversations about potential sites. Ann, why don't you go ahead?
So I brought this matter up with Jerry, and he proposed, and Jason can also jump in because he's more aware of the specific location, but it'd be somewhere towards the left of the existing boat harbor.
Oh, where the boat
The
launches?
Master. I'm very sorry.
No,
I'm sorry, Jason.
not the flagpole, but right behind the parks maintenance building. There's a big metal building right behind that.
Okay, yes.
They,
It's actually on the side of the parking lot.
And it adjoins to the parking lot.
correct.
That was the suggested area.
It's a
Aren't
dead,
those already playing fields? Isn't that part of the softball field and the soccer field?
no,
over there?
no,
No,
Dan,
it's,
no, Dan.
Diet-
It's a dead area there. There's nothing there. It's where we used to come in and out of the garage. There used to be a ramp there when the garage used to have two doors and we used to be able to go on one side and come out the other.
Got it.
It's where the wooden fence is.
Oh, okay, yeah, I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
It's a
wait,
dead
wait,
area. It's along the roadway there.
Right.
Can I ask a question?
First.
At one time, we were supposed to, there was a proposal to put volleyball,
Not on that side, Carlo.
not on that side?
Not on that side, Carlo.
Okay.
Barry, you're talking about that, and Jason, you're talking about that dead space when we were talking about, when we were by the flagpole for the
Yeah,
dog park?
Space
Is that
would,
the space you're
No,
talking about,
no.
that dead space by the
not
parking
by
lot?
the flagpole.
No,
it's
but
the
this,
space-
right by the parking lot.
Yeah, it's the space we wouldn't be able to build on until after
The pier.
pier construction.
Right.
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 But there was discussion there to put volleyball courts too.
No,
That's off the beach, Carlo.
Carlo.
I mean, excuse me, for the purpose of the meeting, we didn't outline or project a certain picture because and that would be in another meeting to be more specific as to the whereabouts. But the exact point, there is room almost directly across from where the sports time is as a visual for it. It's almost directly across from the parking lot. But the specific detail can be worked out if that's not acceptable to find.
Now 8 p.m. The office has been closed.
So,
I don't know if I can, you know, if I can do this. I think it's here. Correct me if I'm wrong, Barry. I think you know pretty well. It's around here?
Where
Correct?
the parking be just up a bit.
Okay.
Is that correct?
You see where it says Harbor Master? Right,
This is Harbor, yes.
okay. It'll be right in this area, right on this side of this, right here. The flagpole is back here. We're talking about along the roadway on this side right here.
The here?
No, over where I have my arrow right here.
Barry, we can't see
Barry,
your,
we can't see your screen.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay,
Sorry, I can't give you my arrow. I wish I could.
Put the
Okay.
satellite on. Put the satellite on, you'll be able to see it better.
Okay.
Is
There
it
we
here?
go.
No, not there.
now,
No, behind the metal building.
To the
right
right.
there, right
Yes.
there,
Yeah,
Right,
right there.
just north of there, Alex, a little bit,
Yep.
right
Right there.
in that area there.
guys, this tech is great.
And how
Doesn't
many,
this area flood?
it floods, but how many courts could you fit in that space?
Yeah.
We're just proposing one court.
One
No,
court.
hold on. It's,
One indoor
it's one big court, but normally when you play tournaments, this will turn into two courts. So it's one court that turns into two across, you know, and you guys that have played LNBA or seen LNBA, you know how it will be a bigger court than those LNBA courts, but it won't be like a full-fledged, you know, college basketball court, you know, when you split it into two. The one will be a full-fledged college basketball court. That's why we're calling it a facility. It's not one court. You know, there's going to be room for training and there's going to be room for at least two to be playing at a time.
And Alex, I mean, would there be opportunity for other sports, or would it have to be purpose-built for basketball? So if there was an indoor volleyball program or?
I mean, look, I think it's pretty straightforward to turn in, you know, a basketball court into a volleyball court. I think you can, you know, build it in multi-sports. You could do indoor soccer, volleyball, basketball. What I do want to, you know, I think that the way we're thinking about this, and if there's a different thought, we can discuss, but we're talking about like, okay, we will raise the money, but then what we want to be careful about is we want to dedicate, you know, a decent amount of it to basketball. We want to give access to a lot of other people, but we don't want to turn this into, okay, basketball's got a couple hours a day, and then, you know, we're going to have, you know, other people that want to train.
Right.
And by the way, we've got nothing against all the others. I think it's just that if we're going to go through the effort, we want to have the, you know, a lot of the benefit, and we want to share with the village. So look, if whatever time we give to others and we give access, I think, it's open. Like, we don't have an issue with any of these other sports. And it's very straightforward to build with
No,
you.
I'm not as, I guess, let me tell you where I'm coming from, because first of all, I think it's a really cool idea. I just want to say that. Second, there's clearly a need for indoor multi-sports facility in the village for basketball and all kinds of uses like you just described. You could probably make a case for a much bigger facility than what you want to build, although I appreciate that even raising the money, but it may be, an even bigger fundraising effort involved to, really build the right facility, which would probably be bigger and may involve parties like yours and LMBA and the soccer league and other, youth sports leagues to kind of do the fundraising. And the model I'm thinking of is the money that was raised for the high school field, where lots of the sports leagues pitched in for that one as well. But I don't want to get ahead of you and your kind of proposal either. I just wanted to share my initial thoughts, and that's why I guess a lot of us are asking about location and how big it would be and that sort of thing.
So can I give you some history here also? So Nora, maybe you can answer this question or take the lead on this. And Dan, going back to you, there's years ago was Field for Kids, Jim Hanley, and that was part of that years ago. But we've also have spoken about it historically about taking over the tennis facility and turning that into a village-owned village
Right,
program.
multi-sport. I remember you talking about
where
that.
we've spoken about this for years.
Yep.
And where the current outdoor tennis, and Jason, you can chime in too. We've spoken about maybe making that into a multi-sport facility. So maybe we can approach all the various organizations and would be beneficial for the entire community. And I'm a big time basketball guy. And historically, I've always asked for a basketball hoop down there, and there isn't one until about 3 years ago, Jason. I gave you one for the camp. So there's no basketball down there at all.
Yeah.
And if you look at all the other parks, there is a basketball court, like in probably 85, 90% of the parks, from Stanley to Warren to Florence.
And Dan, just responding to you, we're open. If you want to do something bigger, we're all for it. I think that the important piece is it's exactly what you guys are saying. There's nowhere to go. Like there's not an indoor court to play basketball or volleyball or any of that here. And if you think about like where the tennis courts are, you have 8. Forget about that one to the side. You have 8 tennis courts. The most people you can have playing at any one time in that huge space is 32. If you're playing, everybody's playing doubles. I mean, think about if you turned it into a multi-sport facility, how many people you could be serving. So I think that's the way we're thinking. Now, we're small thinkers. We're thinking about basketball because we love basketball. But yeah, I mean, I'm all for it, and we're happy to engage and try to help. And I think that the important piece here is let's get something done. I mean, we have the opportunity. We have, I'm not saying we have space everywhere, but let's put our heads together to try to get this. It's good for the kids and it's good for the village.
So are you asking us for like to work with you and also propose some kind of land lease?
Yes.
You can raise money, but you're not going to get the land. You're looking.
Correct. What we need from you guys is the land. Look, if there's a bigger effort here, let's sit down, let's put our heads together. But we started talking about a 7,000 square foot facility. It's something, something along these lines. That's what we were thinking. Okay. And if it's different, let's talk about something different. But conceptually, that's what we need. We need a land lease, and we need to have an agreement with the village. We want to give the village the benefit for giving the land lease. We want it to be a partnership, and we want to be something that's well delineated so that later we don't end up in a situation where people thought it was going to be one way and it ends up being another way. So,
well, that might
makes
happen
sense, Randy.
regardless.
Yeah.
Because you can't really control what people think and expect. But that looks like a great prototype.
That'd be great at Taylor's Lane.
Oh, excuse me, we have additional photos we've had drawn up a whole building plan, but we didn't want to present it in this preliminary.
No,
Mm.
that's fine. I think I think the group is very interested in what you're presenting. Nothing happens quickly, but that shouldn't preclude us from wanting to make things better. And this looks like a much needed asset that frankly, we've talked about before you even got here. So you're just kind of validating some of our previous discussions.
Look, and I can't emphasize enough, we have some of these organizations in the village, like the LMBA and things like that. But we have Coach Jordan, and I'm telling you, this is a great asset that we have. And this is going to make all the difference. It's not going to be a space that we just built. There's going to be a lot of positive things that are going to happen in here. I'm very confident of that. So I could keep going. I had just a little bit more. But we talked about some of these things on this page, and what the advantages to the village would be, and the options for the kids, and the access to the village. But and I'm happy to keep answering questions. What I'd like to come out of this meeting is with a construct of how do we move this forward. Okay, I'm very confident we can raise the money. Who's not? I mean, think about you guys. You guys are very excited about this. Who's not excited about this in our village? So we could, we're going to raise this money, but I'd like a construct.
Ballpark estimate of what this would cost.
What's that?
What's your ballpark estimate of what this would cost?
And we ran through a couple different places. What did they say a facility like that cost?
For the building alone, it would be up to $200,000. All in, it could be up to 300 to 350,000. It's very variable because of the vendors that we have in, or what the.
Are you kidding me? 250,000? Sign now.
350.
350 is a great price.
Right. I think we're going to have to agree on what we want in there. The more things we want, the more expensive it's going to be. I think, my goal would be to go raise $500,000. And I think it's doable. I mean, one of the things we talked about is, we could even potentially, if you're looking at this picture, we could sell advertising on the sides here. We could do all kinds of things. I think it's very doable. So I'd like to aim high.
Well, so my recommendation would be, we have had conversations with Sport Time because of the whole idea of alienating parkland, and so we've renegotiated with Sport Time. But the village just formed a committee, actually it's in formation, a committee, and this is sort of a perfect segue to explore year-round recreation in the village. So, this is something that the village is really committed to doing. And now, the committee's not full. So there are 3 people who are on the ad hoc tennis committee. So I think they're still looking for people to be on the committee. And I'm not sure that you necessarily want to be on the committee, but that's really the group that we should work with, because it's kind of like a comprehensive plan for how we get this to happen. So it might get all the stakeholders together and figure out how we can best accomplish all of the needs of the village together.
Well, can I ask you a question? What are you guys talking about doing with the tennis courts?
So that is a part of what this group is going to be discussing. What to do. Obviously, we want to have indoor tennis in the village, and so this is a group that is working about how not only indoor tennis but other indoor sports facilities. So that's something that the Board of Trustees is in the process of forming, and the committee's not complete. So there are 3 people from Parks and Rec, 3 people from the Ad Hoc Tennis Committee, and 3 members of the public who have interest. So that would be the committee to work with to figure out like a comprehensive plan. I don't know if you're aware of this, but it may be now 20 years ago, there was a comprehensive plan for the village of Mamaroneck, and it involved, for Harbor Island Park, it involved moving Sport Time and moving some of the field. And so there's just a sense of revisiting what we need to do, and this committee is going to be doing it. So I think this would be a really good opportunity to have you all work with them.
Or certainly a representative from your group,
Yeah.
Alex.
So I think this is my view, and you guys can tell me if you disagree. I'd rather not be in the committee. I want to be the guy outside trying to get this done because, you know, you guys are talking about this for 20 years, you've been talking about doing this. I want to get this done.
Well,
And
okay.
I find that committees, you know, it's going to take like years for everybody to agree on something. So I'd rather be the one pushing for something concrete that can get done so our kids, you know, can be playing there, you know, in a year or so, instead of like spending forever in committees.
Well,
Sorry, I'm a very practical guy.
well, I'm glad you're practical, and I'm not saying that you need to be on the committee, but this is the group of people who are going to figure out the vision for what's going to happen. So you want to get in front of them and be a part of that vision. So, I mean, I think
Susan
this is
Nora,
really
is
good.
this committee just for the sports time?
No,
from
no,
what I
no, no, no,
heard,
it's
or
really,
the
it's
whole park?
for year-round recreation in the village.
It's,
Year-round options, not just the sport time facility, but how we can get year-round recreation in the village.
Well, let me ask you a question. Is somebody going to use this piece?
I don't,
I'd rather, you know, maybe I don't need to think big. Maybe I can just try to get this piece done. It doesn't preclude, you know, the bigger picture, but you know, the bigger picture is, you know, it's probably going to be a pretty complex thing to accomplish.
you know, I guess that maybe this could be part of the bigger picture. I mean, I think that this is just the beginning stages of this committee being formed. And
Yeah.
we need to figure out what the structure is. I think that if we want clear, we need some sort
Why
of
we don't do it
recreation
now.
facility somewhere in the village.
Well, it's not big
Figure
enough.
That's the goal.
And everything. It's not a big enough area. So just enough.
Nora, I have,
Turn your microphone off.
Let's get it done now. Okay.
There.
Yo,
Barry, you have to mute yourself. We can hear you.
Oh,
Nora, I have a question.
Yeah.
So
Tina's on this committee,
are
but
we allowed to give this spot that won't be controlled?
I don't know that we can. I don't know that that doesn't get.
Can you
involved.
hear me? Because my internet's bad.
We do hear you, Tina. We hear you.
What?
We hear you.
You're on mute,
You
Barry.
can hear me?
Yeah.
Because I just, it almost seems like
Yep.
you would run into the same problem that you're having with sports time right now.
Right.
Not that I don't love the idea,
Mhm.
but
But
I don't
it is
want to run into.
It is parkland and we can't alienate it. I don't think we can give a land lease, but I'm not a lawyer, so I don't want to be like giving these kinds of opinions. So this is the kind of thing that we need to figure out. But this is the kind of thing that we need to figure out.
No, Alex, let me just be clear here. What Nora's talking about is something that you're unaware of, that most people aren't aware of, that there is a situation with the county in terms of giving or lending land in the park that's restricted. It has some restricted covenants. And so like, we're not even sure that we could the village could give you that land, that little spot, and you can do whatever you want. It's kind of bigger than you.
Okay, so how do we, you know, who do we go to figure that out?
Well, we need to have the board of trustees ask the lawyer about it. But I think it's clear we can't give parkland away. But there are communities who have other organizations run part of their sports facilities. And part of that is the village has use of it. Part of it is that there's preferences given to village residents. So I wouldn't say this. It may not work in the exact parameter that you're describing. I'm not saying that it can't work. I just think this is something that the village is embarking on. And I think you're coming in right at the right time to talk about this. I think it's a really good idea.
It's a good idea. I'm just not sure we can do it because we've been around this roadie a lot of times, Nora. But what I wanted to ask you, Nora, is does Taylor's Lane fall under those same guidelines?
Well, Taylor's Lane is not dedicated parkland. That's a different story. So there's probably more we can do in Taylor's Lane. I don't know that we have control over Taylor's Lane yet, though.
Is that the land behind Al's garage?
Yes.
Behind Toyota, yes.
A big swath of land.
So Alex, that's a whole nother long story. So for the point of
So let me interrupt about Taylor's Lane because that was my
sure,
thing
Carla.
initially. Let me just give it to you. We had drawn up plans, and George was there a couple months ago for soccer fields, 2 fields. So it can be utilized for sports, whether if it's basketball, field hockey or soccer or football, it can be utilized. And we have to go down that road and get the approvals and really, look into it again. And it's been 20 years and, I sat on that board 20 years ago, and nothing came out of it.
So Alex, not to further discourage you, but everything does take 20 years. But what we're talking,
Not gonna take, I'm telling you, we're gonna get this done.
Well,
I'm hearing you guys talking about a lot of impediments. I'm here to fix it, okay?
well, let me
I
just
have
tell you,
like-
Harbor Island's land restrictions are beyond your skill set. Okay.
Believe me, I'm gonna go, who is the lawyer we go talk to?
Okay, well, we're not gonna have that whole discussion right
Why
now.
not? I wanna know who the lawyer is.
Well, regardless, that the second thing I just want to tell you, I brought up the Taylor's Lane situation to you as being another possibility, because it's a different, it's jurisdictionally different. So it's handled differently. The land is, its classification is different. So I'm trying to give you something else that might be of value to you. But what I'm going to say for the point of now this conversation is I think we should thank you for your time, and we should continue a discussion further to try to give you some other ways to move this forward. I can tell you you're a mover and shaker, and we're not opposed to that, but the Harbor Island thing is probably a non-starter because I'd forgotten about what Nora brought up, which she's accurately correct.
And it might not be a non-starter. I'm not saying that we can't figure out how to get sports facilities in Harbor Island Park. I'm not saying that. I do not think we can give land, we can't give land to somebody else. That's not.
Okay, so I was
But-
correct about the land, Alex, that we cannot do.
But
But
you know,
there isn't a
who
reason why-
legally will know the answer to that? Who can we talk to? We're speculating.
We're not speculating.
We're not speculating because we've been through this with Sport Time.
Yeah, I was a trustee 10 years ago, and Nora is very well informed.
But we're not.
We know this.
But what I'm suggesting is that this, I mean, Tina, the committee hasn't met yet. I don't think it's fully staffed, right? It's not, so the committee hasn't met yet. So this is.
Well, Nora, excuse me, prior to the committee, we just would like to have a conversation. Can we set something up with the village manager, Jerry Barbera?
I think you've already talked to Jerry, correct? You talked to Jerry.
In a preliminary conversation in order to get, to meet with you all. But we'd like some sort of clarification, what can or can't be done and where it can be done, waiting.
I mean, I'm sure Jerry would be open to talking to you. I mean, he's open to talking to everybody. You know, he's like, so, I mean, check with Jerry, but what I'm suggesting as a trustee, we are exploring this very idea. And we are in the process of forming a committee that's going to do it. So I think we're certainly going to take advice from that committee, and Tina's a part of it. So I think this is the time to start the whole conversation and see what we can do.
Okay, so it's up to you guys how you want to handle it next.
Sure, I'd be happy to follow up with you, Tina.
And let's you and I talk, and let's see what we can do to figure out how to further the conversation.
Okay, that would be.
Or Alex, I mean, we can just, let's see what we can do to see what the parameters are. And maybe somebody from your group will be interested, if not being on the committee, at least talking to the committee.
Absolutely.
You know, I think that's what I would prefer to do.
Okay.
So that there's a counterparty. If I'm part of the committee, or for one of us is part of the committee, it's just part. I'd rather be trying to push a solution to the committee than being part of the committee.
And and I would also
Same
say
way we're doing it right now.
the committee will talk to all different kinds of stakeholders. So you'd be a stakeholder too. So there's not, I don't think that it's not like that the 9 members of the committee are going to hold meetings and not talk to anybody else. That's not, that is.
Yeah, and Alex, you should know that, as you know, I'm actively involved in soccer, and there's lots of us on all these committees that are stakeholders and all kinds of other stuff at all times. I hope you all aren't discouraged, because I'm thinking there's some model for a multi-sport facility that could reside at a harbor under whatever legal formulation would be allowed under, village ownership, but with lots of stakeholders having active roles in both the fundraising and operations of this facility. There's
Yeah,
all
I
kinds of
think-
models in this, in the grand scheme of things. I think it's such early days. There's a lot of really enthusiastic parties, I think, that want to see something happen also. So it's really actually good timing.
Right. No, I'm not, I personally am not discouraged. I think exactly what you're saying is the way to go. Figure out what the legal construct is to make some of these things happen. You know, maybe it's not a land lease, maybe there's a different way to do it. You know, that's why I was asking, you know, who can help us think through that?
I think Jerry would probably be a good person to talk
Think-
to.
yeah. Starting to talk with Jerry would be a good idea. And starting to talk, and I would in no way be discouraged, because I think this is like, I sort of feel like the village has been circling around this for a while, and this is the time to make this kind of thing happen. So I would not be discouraged. We just have to figure out, you know, government works in a different way than business works.
That's a sad statement.
Slowly, that's how
It's a true statement.
it's true.
Dora is correct.
It works very, very slowly.
It's not only it works slowly, it works under different kinds of constraints.
Along
Like, there has to be lots of buy-in.
I
So
think-
listen, guys, thank you very much. We have
Yeah.
one other agenda item.
Thank you for taking the time to meet with us.
Sorry,
Larry, take care.
you
I
guys, can you
think, I
guys
think
hear
we're
me?
all very excited about what you're doing.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Hear you, how, Coach.
You can hear me now.
Yeah, we-
Hi, how are you? How's everybody?
This is the best you've been.
Huh?
This is the best sound quality you've had.
Yes, I kept playing around. I don't know. I was going from Safari to Google to Chrome, and finally I'm in.
And you're perfect. We
done.
can hear you
you.
perfectly.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much for the work you do in the community.
Yes, ma'am.
You're
I-
a hero.
I appreciate that, and I'm going to continue to do what I do because I love what I do.
And we would love to support you in as many ways as we can.
Yes, ma'am. I appreciate that.
Me
Thank
too.
you.
Thanks.
Larry, good luck.
Carlo, hey, how are you? Long time no see.
Likewise.
Did you get my message from Peter?
You gave it to me the other day.
Thank you.
Stay well, my friend.
Yes, sir. You too, brother.
Thanks for entertaining us, guys. I appreciate it.
Well, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
It's gonna work out.
So our next issue is the Gunder boom. Jason, do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, so we talked about this the previous meeting. We worked hard over the last few weeks to get, I hope, a bunch more information, pricing quotes. I sent you guys the, I don't know if you read it. I sent you a memo a few hours back before the meeting that kind of summarizes the deal, our options, and what we do. I could just say that the boom is in direst need of something, whether it's replacement, whether it's removal. It can't stay the way it is. It's falling apart. We're losing anchors, it seems like, on a monthly basis, and it's just not good. So, you know, I tried to provide as much history as I could find. Obviously, I haven't worked here for quite that long, but, you know, with the help of some contractors that built the boom in 2009, and with the help of, you know, some health department stuff, you know, I put together the memo, and we just need to have a discussion about it, because ultimately it's going to have to go through some more channels like the DOT and stuff. But I wanted to know, get the group opinion and see what everyone's thoughts were on. So if you guys would like to share.
Jason, do you know on average, how many days over the course of the summer season does the beach or has the beach closed in the past because of the water not being okay?
Well, we have to close if we get over if we get over a half inch of rain, we have to close for 24 hours. If we get over an inch of rain, we have to close for 48 hours. That's mandated by the health department, no matter what. So those depends on how much rain we get. I think this year we had about 5. And
5 closures?
5 closures from rain only. We haven't had any closures since I've been, at least the last 2 years, that were not because of rain. So they just tested it. It's been not raining for a week. They tested it and it was high. That happened years in the past, up until probably, I would say, like 2016, 17. I haven't seen it in my few years here, but I've been told that it's happened. We do close because of rain, because we have to. With or without a boom, we're closing because of rain. That's just what the parameters are of the health department. So, but I'd say 5 rain closures a year, 6 if it's really rainy. If we get a tropical storm or something where we get like over an inch, it could be 2 days straight where we're closed, but that's very rare. But I'd say 5 or 6 days. Yeah.
So, and that's just for rain closures.
Just rain.
So in the past, why has besides that oil spill, why has the beach closed other than for rain issues that the Gunder boom
Okay.
would be a reason why that Gunder boom would be helpful?
So, you know, my lifelong friends that live in this village, please correct me, but from what my understanding is from the folks that I've talked to, is that there was serious issues with the water quality in the late 90s, 2000s, and they put it in because, from my understanding, there was whole seasons where the beach was closed.
Absolutely.
And it
Correct.
was
You're absolutely right.
bad. And so the boom was put
Absolutely.
in to try to prevent those non-rain closures that were happening quite frequently years back. So that's why the village put the boom in. And it's been here ever since. But the water quality, we feel, has improved. I mean, at least from 1998, it's greatly improved compared to where it is now, where we're not seeing those closures unrelated to rain.
So do we even need it?
Well, that's not my position to say. I'm not a scientist. I mean, you could read the memo for yourself. I tried to lay out the facts as best as I could. I dug into the water quality data and put that together. I mean, but I wouldn't. I would say that we probably don't need it, but you know, I'm not a scientist and I'm not a water quality expert, so I don't think we should leave that opinion up to myself.
We have those folks at the Marine Center. Would they be able to ascertain?
But Randy, let me ask you a question, or anyone else. Historically, in the past, when we didn't have it, the beach was closed often, religiously. Once we installed it, it started getting much better and people were able to get into the water again. Prior to the boom, it was closed down for many, many days. And the county would come down and test it.
Yeah, but that's then, Carlo. We're now
sorry?
in 2020s.
What I think part of the concern and part of the information that Jason sent is that it's not clear that the boom is actually working now. So we
Oh,
have
at the moment.
So it's not as if we can say it's better because of the boom. And I think that's the question. How do we figure out if the boom is doing anything, if anything, or anything, and how much?
Nora, you're completely right. It's
So
not doing much.
So I can tell you, Carlo, that the boom, anyone's welcome to come down and look at it. The boom right now has gaping holes in it. There's a there that shows drone video. The water spills over the top on high tide. So there is no filtration happening whatsoever. There is, I shouldn't say whatsoever, there is, but there is so much unfiltered water coming through for the last few years that the inside and outside, there's no difference because it's not doing what it was designed to do.
Okay.
The question is, do we need it? I don't think there's any doubt that that it does what it's supposed to do when it's installed, but do we need it? Because we're closing anyway due to rain and we haven't been shut down because of just high coliform level. You know what I mean? Like,
and we are tested, or the county tests on a regular basis.
yeah, what do? They average 18 to 20 samples a year on the beach. That's quite a bit.
So Jason, I think you should have somebody look at this situation because we probably are not the right people to make this decision. We can't test the water qualities. We're not scientists, but they really are the ones that should decide. It should be somebody that makes that decision.
But I think the question, there's two questions. One question, the bigger question is, do we need a boom at all?
Correct.
And that's $300,000. So even if we need it, is that something that we can afford? I mean, the COVID budget is not a happy budget, but also is the one that if we have to get a new boom, that's why, and I understand it, and Jason, I mean, I read all this, but I could be wrong. if we have to get a new boom, we have to remove this boom anyway. So the question is this boom doing anything? And is it just more work for the staff to try and keep it repaired and keep it in as good a condition as they can? I guess that's the question. So
The report says, Nora, that there were 11 years where it didn't have much maintenance.
well,
And
right. And I think that's why it's
I
in
think we should remove it.
Well,
Agree. I
can
thought we
tell you that-
decided that the last meeting that's what our,
I thought
Right.
we did too.
I thought we did too, that we were in favor of removing it.
Yeah, but I
Whether we
think-
replace it is another conversation, I think.
Right, and I will, with trustee Lucas, the fact is that it's not, I'm out there, if there's 102 days in a beach season, I'm out there 90 of them, right? And I can tell you that it's not doing what it's designed to. I'm more nervous that it's gonna turn into a liability, and if we keep losing anchors, what if it cuts loose? What if it sinks? I don't know. I don't know what could happen to it. It's been out there a long time.
We need to vote on this and just move on.
Take it
To
out.
remove it.
Well, just hold on 1 second, please. What Jason's saying is true, is right now, the boom is not doing its purpose, okay, at all. Okay, for the last 2 years, it's been broke, the water's coming in. Just give you a little history. Back then, when I was swimming here, even when I started here in 1980, we didn't have a boom in 1980. What we used to have is these woods with these planks and chicken screen going from one side of the wall to the other side of the wall to keep everything out. And the water quality always got tested and everything was fine. Back in the early 90s and stuff is when they put the boom in, because the water quality at that time was really bad. But what Jason's saying now with this boom, the boom is not serving its purpose anymore. Okay, and it's more a liability than having it there than taking it out. And we could take it out, or we could have it taken out and then decide what you want to do afterwards. But like Jason said, the water quality at this time is better than it's ever been.
Okay, so I make a motion to remove the boom and Kristen seconds it. Can we all have a vote on that? How many are in favor of removing the boom? Anyone opposed?
Oh, no.
Dan, if you're opposed, we can't see you. You have only a D.
Sorry, I'm
He was
in favor of
And Manny, are you good?
I am good.
Okay.
tear down that boom, Mr.
Okay, tear
Bullock.
down that boom. All right,
Do you
so
have a comment?
removal of the boom has been passed unanimously by the Board of Trustees.
no, the board of, no,
Oh,
not
by the
Board of
recreation department.
We have a new name. Nora, what
Promoting us,
we're called?
Randy?
We're called PRC?
Yeah.
Okay.
So just to clarify, the group is in favor of removing the boom. But we have
Correct,
not-
but keep in mind, we're not the experts, and I think that needs to be very clear. Like, we
Right.
can say,
So-
yeah, if
Oh,
you're
wait,
telling us that
Jason,
it's not doing its job, then yeah, why
Yeah,
would you
so
keep
is
it there?
dangerous to have it there right now?
Right now, is it a danger? I couldn't say. Could it be a danger? Sure. I mean, it's, you could ask Barry, he's out there, how many times over the summer, Bear, with the payloader, digging those things back down so they don't come up? How many times is the harbor master out there with the boat pulling things and,
Well,
Yeah, it should be removed. It should
This
just be
year,
removed.
I think this year we went out at least 6 or 7 times covering the anchors all up and everything because they're coming out and everything. I think the harbor master was out there at least 3 or 4 times this year, just trying to close everything up.
Yeah.
So let me just
Okay.
clarify, Jason and Barry, you guys are saying it really has tears in it, so it's really not serving its purpose.
tears, Carl? It's more than tears.
Okay.
It's held on, there's one side of it that's
Yeah.
held on by a rope. There is no flotation in
The
that.
start, Carlos, the
So
start,
you could- The ducks
Right.
and birds swim through there now.
yeah,
Okay,
it's missing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
all right, so,
Like, if you come down in the
not
morning,
functional.
it's like a bird sanctuary because there's nobody on the beach. It's like a
Got it.
bird sanctuary now because they all flock in there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, I definitely think that what's there needs to come out.
Right.
Because it clearly is not serving its purpose. Whether or not we need it and it goes back in, that I think is going to be based on the water quality and if a new one would have any impact. And again, that's not I don't think that's really for us to decide simply because we're not the experts in this field as far as the water quality and everything else goes.
Right.
But I
I'm not
do
asking-
agree that
tests are
removing
gonna-
it, yeah, the
Carrie,
water tests are gonna decide that.
Carrie, I'm
sorry.
not asking you to make that decision. I think it's important that we make the decision to remove it because like trustee Lucas said, either way, it has to come out.
I agree.
Whether
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
3,000 does not include removal because we want to do removal in-house because we don't, instead of spending 30,000, have a contractor do it, we could do it for 5,000 to 8,000.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. And
So-
yes, I agree.
And either way, we have to take it out. We can't repair it. It's pretty much, it's done. So.
It's in disarray. It's
if we
it's
put it away,
unrepairable. I get that. Yeah.
Right. They have to have
Yeah.
it fresh.
Well, I'm excited. We voted on something.
Jason, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
If-
Sure.
I have a question. If we remove it and then you see that the water quality is
Are you drunk?
deteriorating, how long does it take if we decided to put a new one in?
That's in the document, so it
Each
could take,
time?
it
Know
could
what I
take
mean?
4 months. So from
Can you
design to
read?
conception, what did they say? I mean, I have it here. I'm pretty sure when I read it, and this was expedited, 4 weeks. So Tina, 4 weeks for design, because you have to have, it has to be designed on CAD and 8 to 12 weeks to manufacture and deliver it, and then 1.5 to 2.5 weeks to install it.
But so if we remove it, should we not be testing it, like say, come next
No,
year?
it's, Carl, it's gonna be, that's mandated by the state. We don't decide that. The county comes and tests regardless of what we have to say.
No, I'm saying though,
Requires
should we
it.
make, should we
So
make it
if
a point?
we
Should we make it a point?
only remove it,
I can't really hear.
Who was just talking?
Is that Kathleen? No,
No, Kathleen's muted.
Maybe it
Was it
Tina, but
Tina? I think it was Tina.
I think
Tina's
Tina's
frozen.
frozen. Look at her face.
Yeah, she is.
So
I guess,
Tina, if you can hear us, you're frozen.
I mean, I guess the question,
Carla,
even if, I mean, if we remove it
that
and
was
decide on
Carla.
a new one, there isn't necessarily a budget line to put a new one in. So I think we need to be pretty sure that, that it's doing nothing and that removing this won't have any kind of a negative
It is
impact.
not doing anything. We've
Oh,
already
right.
voted on it. All right, so if there's any
Jason
other,
said birds are swimming through it, so I'm thinking it's
yeah,
useless.
if there's any other final points, otherwise I think it's time to adjourn the
I
meeting.
can hear you, but I can't hear
Because Tina, we can't understand you. All
Maybe
right,
Tina can, if there's a chat, maybe she can type her question.
great idea. Tina, you want to chat? She's shaking her head, yes.
This is like comic relief here right now.
So fun. Thank goodness everybody here has a sense of humor.
You have to.
All right, let's
Speak for
just Tina
yourself.
put in the chat. Let's
Here you
see.
go.
Yeah.
My concern is that if we
Bird.
find that it is affecting the water quality, will we potentially lose a
Each season.
Right.
beach season?
Well,
Depends on how quickly the decision would be made to put one back in,
No.
right?
I could, at least unless something really changes environmentally where we get a whole slew of pollution, I feel like I'm pretty confident that we won't lose a whole beach season just based off of the condition of the boom now and the water samples over the last 3 years, because people have been essentially swimming without a boom for a few years. Now, is it filtering a little bit? Yeah, it is. But when the samples inside, outside, sometimes they're good inside, sometimes they're good outside. Now, if that was a working boom, I would say most certainly the inside would be better than the outside all the time. But are we going to lose a whole beach season? I don't think so. I don't foresee that happening if we have similar conditions that we've had over the last 3 years. But, I also think that if we had elevated levels coming next year with this boom that we have now, we would still have to close because the boom wouldn't filter anything. So But
but we still have the water park and people could still go there and, just like they did this year.
yeah, I mean, we don't close the
Open
beach.
Water park this year.
Right.
We didn't open it this year, so that was unfortunate because those few closings due to rain, people were sweltering. So, but Tina, it's a good question. I mean, I can't predict the future, but if it's like anything like the last 3 years, yeah. But I will say though, also that if we had a bad pollution this year in the water, I bet you we would have been closed with it because of the way the boom is, I bet you, because there's just too much coming in. The floodgates are opened on it.
That's literally true.
Mhm.
Literally, yeah, kinda.
All right, guys, anybody else? All right, so everybody have a happy night. Oh,
Wait. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about the,
Oh,
can I
okay,
just
sorry,
ask-
Carlo.
no, sorry, Jason, really quickly. Nora basically said there were 3 individuals from the rec committee
Well,
on,
there's room for them. I think Tina's the only one that signed up. I will check. Carlo?
Carlo's raising his hand. He wants to be on the committee.
absolutely.
Carrie
'Cause I've been
can,
talking,
Carrie can make it a dozen. She's about 4 or 5. She'll make it a dozen.
yeah,
Can I,
Nora,
Do you
definitely,
want to do it?
absolutely.
can I
Can I
just,
say yes?
can I just talk for a second to everybody? Just want to let everybody know, this is actually my last meeting. I'm retiring in 10 days,
Oh, my God.
Barry,
What?
okay?
Thank God you told us. We'd be
Barry,
devastated.
what? No, you can't leave us.
So I would like to be, when you get an opening, I'll be glad to come on the rec commission, okay, which is,
There's an opening.
There is.
There is.
okay?
So you're
And
not leaving, Barry. There's an opening. There you go.
I just want to say, it's been really great working with everybody.
Oh,
Oh,
Thanks, Barry.
So,
Barry, you're
listen,
Gonna miss you,
irreplaceable.
man.
it's 40 years and I can say I love it. My heart is in the recreation and the park. And I just wish everybody the luck. Okay,
Congratulations.
oh.
and Barry, one other thing.
Barry, we'll miss you, Barry.
so,
Barry, also,
um,
with regards
the
to
other
the
thing
village of
is-
Mamaroneck.
the gentleman in my
Congratulations.
place, he's a young kid. He's gonna just be overseeing when the village makes a decision what they want to do down here. I will show him next month when he comes to the meeting. I'll be in and show him how everything is done. But I just want to tell everybody, thank you very much. And it's been a pleasure to work with everybody.
Pleasure, Barry. It's been an
Thanks,
absolute
Barry.
pleasure.
Barry,
Thank you.
We'll miss
good
you.
luck to you.
You're the
We'll miss
best.
you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
And I'll see you, I'll be on the rec commission when you get an opening, okay?
Two.
I hope so.
Okay, I'll be there.
There's two. There's two, Barry.
Bring
All right, I'll take one of them,
Okay.
all right?
Okay, guys, so, may I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Wait, can we say one thing, Jason, just before that? The swing sets are opening on Saturday.
Yes.
Park Swings.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that, like, I plan, recreation programs sometimes for the village, so we got like a swing set, there's a drive-in movie on Friday, Toy Story 4, there's some cool stuff that we do. Normally, yeah, we have time to fit it in, and yeah,
Wait, there's a ribbon cutting.
Saturday, yeah.
Thank you for bringing that up, Nora. One of the things that Jason and Jerry have tried to do is celebrate our accomplishments. And there's a fabulous joint swing set for an older person and a younger person down at Columbus Park. And so we're going to do a ribbon cutting on Saturday morning at 11. If
10.
anyone wants to.
10 a.m.
10 o'clock.
Oh, 10, well, see, I would be late. All right, guys. Barry, best of luck. Do we have a
Thank you.
motion to close?
No, they're never leaving.
All right, so
Yeah,
let's do
good,
somebody different.
All right.
So I think Kristen made a motion to adjourn the meeting. Second, let's use Carrie and all those in favor.
Aye.
Aye.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Good night.
Barry,
Thanks.
it's not going to be the same.
All right, good night, everybody.
Bye, Barry. Good
Good
luck.
night.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you for your service, Barry.
You're welcome, thank
We
you.
love you, Barry.
Love you guys
All
too,
right.
man. I'll see you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right.